We've been expecting this to come for some time now. There was no way, we reasoned, that General Hospital's Sunny and Natalia could last with how much she put Christina and Blaze through. But then, against all odds, they did. Granted, it was never quite obvious what was lasting, but the two had something going on, until they didn't. Because Sunny finally put an end to that after learning that Natalia was once married to Sidwell. She was honest, but that didn't stop Sunny from cutting her out, telling her that he can't trust someone with that connection, and it was time to end their association. But then he amended that to tell Natalia that we didn't have an association. We had a friendship, and I'll miss it. But from what we've seen, Sunny might be one of the few people who do. Because fans have not been happy with Natalia ever since her less than welcoming reaction to Christina and Blaze's relationship. Or, as fan Leslie B put it on X/Twitter, Sunny should have hated her from the start after that bigoted crap she said. I'm not surprised he dumped her like a hot potato today. Melissa was even harsher in her reaction when she tweeted, "She treated Christina like garbage for months, is the reason the center Chris built cut ties with her, and she destroyed her relationship with Blaze, which contributed to the state Chris is in now, but Sidwell is the line? Just wow." When you put it all together like that, it sounds even worse. And then to learn that Natalia pretty much did the exact same thing to Marco as she did to Blaze, and still harped on him when he came to town, it's like she'd learned nothing. So while quite a few fans are cheering on the end of this friendship, they're also dumbfounded that Sunny didn't draw the line earlier. But it's finally done, and next, who knows? It looks like by the end of the week, Sunny's going to be confiding in Carly, and that has got to be worrying for fans of her and Jack. Carson fans, though, are already starting to rejoice. Chances are, he'll be opening up about his heart condition and telling her that Natalia is toast. As Joanne put it, when Carly finds out about Sunny's heart condition and surgery that may change their current sort of platonic relationship, she'll be at his side 24/7, and he'll rely on her and hopefully they'll get back together for marriage 6. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers and updates reveal that Carly Spencer could deliver a surprising 5-word reaction to The Secret involving Jason Morgan and Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Let's explore how Michael Corinthos' mother might respond to the revelation about paternity. Fans of GH are aware that Jason has chosen to keep Carly uninformed about Michael being the biological father of Sasha's child. He worries that Carly won't be able to keep this information to herself and understands that her instinct to connect with her grandchild will kick in if she discovers the truth. Nevertheless, it's only a matter of time before Carly uncovers the actual paternity. In Port Charles, secrets have a way of surfacing, so it's time to speculate on how Carly will respond when she finds out. She may just astonish Jason by grasping the seriousness of the situation. Carly might come to appreciate what Sasha and Jason are aiming for, given her concerns. Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos being entrusted to Willow Corinthos and Drew Kane means she is likely to avoid complicating matters further. This is particularly relevant now that Willow has just signed documents designating Drew as the legal guardian of her children in the event of a serious situation or incapacitation. Jack Brennan warned that Drew's actions could be overly ambitious, and it seems he may have already crossed a line by having Willow sign those papers. Michael is making progress in his recovery, so what gives Willow the idea that she can simply hand over his children to the man she had an affair with? This decision is appalling and likely won't stand in court, potentially leading to serious consequences. Carly might use this situation to demonstrate to a judge how manipulative Drew is and how Willow has fallen under his influence. Regardless, Carly's advantage in any custody battle could be jeopardized if the truth about Sasha's child's paternity is revealed. Michael needs to appear as the victim, but if it becomes known that he fathered Sasha's child while still married to Willow, it will complicate matters. Therefore, Carly might respond to Jason and Sasha's secret with, "This is for the best." She could essentially advise them to continue their actions to safeguard Michael's rights to Wiley and Amelia. General Hospital's Drew has been completely unrecognizable since last year, but he might have just pulled his dirtiest trick yet. Willow Take Corinthos will be anything Drew Kane tells her to do, like the obedient little cult member she is. It doesn't matter what her eyes, ears, and the people around her say. She has done nothing wrong, and Drew is her forever hero and prince who walks on water. If Drew hands Willow papers to sign, then Willow will sign them, exactly as she did on the April 14th episode. Did she read those papers? Nope. Did it occur to her that what Drew claimed the papers were for was illegal? Nope. So what the heck did Willow really sign? Maybe she needs to have a lawyer take a good look. Drew claimed that he had papers drawn up that would give him guardianship of Willow's kids if anything were to happen to her. Considering that Willow is married to Michael and Michael is alive, how is this even going to work? And if something happened to her, why wouldn't her kids go to their grandparents? We're sure Nina Reeves and Carly Spencer would love to have them. Did any of this make sense to Willow? Can anything make sense to such a vapid character who has zero ability to think for herself? Did Willow just sign away her children's ELQ shares to Drew? He is determined to get his hands on anything that belongs to the Quartermaines. So why not go for ELQ shares that currently belong to minor children? Or did Willow sign something much more insidious? It sometimes seems that Drew is not Drew at all, and his obsession with Willow is more than just a game. It seems like a sickness, and Willow has also been infected with it, just like she was when she fell under Shiloh's influence. Since Shiloh and Drew were once buddies in Afghanistan, it is looking more and more like Shiloh is part of this story in some way. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Carly Spencer is on the warpath and wants to take her grandchildren, Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos, away from their mother, Willow Corinthos, and will do whatever it takes to make it happen. Now that Carly has finally seen Willow for who she really is, she will fight for her grandchildren at any cost, and she may go to an unlikely person for help, Monica Quartermaine. With the help of Diane Miller, Carly can petition for custody of the children because their mother, Willow, is not acting in their best interests by moving in with Drew Kane, who she had an affair with, and is also the children's great-uncle. Since Michael Corinthos is currently recovering in Germany from his injuries and is not able to take custody at this time, Diane could petition the court that the best interest of the children is that they stay with their grandmother until their father recovers and returns to Port Charles and decides how he wants to proceed. Tracy Quartermaine could find out that Carly is taking these actions and let Monica know. Monica would come up with a genius plan. Carly is more likely to get custody if she joins the petition, and they file for joint custody of the children together. Carly would realize that this is a great move to ensure that Willow loses custody of the children, and she would quickly agree, realizing that Monica and her having joint custody is the best solution for all. Monica has a lot of influence and power in Port Charles and could easily make this happen. Carly told Willow that she would make good on her promise, and she arrives with a court order to take the children from her. Willow would refuse to give up her kids, but she would have no choice. Drew would promise to fight Carly on this, and she would tell him that Monica arranged everything, and that there is nothing that he or anyone else can do about it. Carly takes the kids out of Drew and Willow's home, and Willow is shattered. What do you think? Do you think that Carly will team up with Monica to take Willow's kids away from her? Do you think that they will succeed? General Hospital spoilers update for Wednesday, April 16, reveals that Jen Sidwell will make a tempting pitch while Diane Miller's termination plan gets derailed. Curtis Ashford will also deal with some alarm bells, so there will be plenty of drama happening all over town. For starters, Jordan Ashford will manage to raise Curtis' suspicions and perhaps leave him concerned for her safety. Although Jordan plans to put on a show and convince everyone she's turned against Laura Collins, Curtis may have hunch Jordan's about to get in over her head with Sidwell. Jordan will make some bold declarations to Anna Devane and move forward with her plot to get fired for insubordination later this week. It's all part of a scheme Jordan's cooked up with Laura, but it could end in disaster if they aren't careful. At Elizabeth Baldwin's house, Lux Spencer will replace Amy Driscoll as the person who's committed to taking care of Liz throughout her recovery. There'll be some fun and flirty moments on Wednesday's show, but Elizabeth should be genuinely moved over Lucky's grand gesture. At Sonny Corinthos' place, he'll catch Marco Rios off guard by revealing to Diane that Sidwell is his father. Diane will vow to fire Marco right away, but Sonny will have another solution. Maybe Sonny will feel like it's best to keep a close eye on Marco, and the easiest path to doing that is to let him continue to work at the law office. While Sonny and Diane discuss the next Marco steps, Marco could end up facing Jason Morgan's grilling session. It seems Jason will throw questions at someone at the law firm, so Marco may be on the receiving end of them. Whatever the case, Lucas Jones will stumble upon some conflict, so he may surprise Marco at his new job and find Jason in the middle of interrogating him. As for Sidwell, GA spoilers say he'll seek out Tracy Quartermaine and make a tempting pitch. Sidwell will encourage Tracy to see how alike they are and hope they can strike a genuine alliance. Although Sidwell has proven that he's trouble, Tracy will at least be curious thanks to his latest speech and attempt to win her over. Tracy has definitely had some concerns about doing business with Sidwell, but he'll work to show her a new side of himself. Elsewhere, Drew Kane will concentrate on a sneaky plan and prepare to make more waves in PC. As Drew updates his strategy on Wednesday's show, he'll make some confident predictions that can only lead to bad news. General Hospital spoilers say Drew will inevitably unleash another round of chaos soon, so don't miss all the action. Even before this week's episode, there were a lot of reasons to love the quirky series Will Trent. But in this week's episode, the series paid a loving tribute to General Hospital, right down to the outing's title, A Funeral Fit for a Quartermaine. So how exactly did the primetime crime drama wind up spotlighting a daytime soap? We have a few General Hospital fans on the writing staff, admitted Will Trent co-showrunner Liz Heldens to TV Insider. I used to watch it with my grandmother pretty religiously. For those unfamiliar with Will and his story, this week's episode flashed back to a time when he was taken in by a soap-loving grandmother and her grandson, Raphael. Almost immediately upon meeting, the trio wind up turning on the television to watch the Sudser, at which point longtime General Hospital fans are treated to a reminder of days gone by, which you can watch below. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that Raphael's grandma is played by none other than Marla Gibbs of the Jeffersons fame, who just happens to have recently played Olivia on Days of Our Lives. Later in the episode, Will and Raphael, now grown and on opposite sides of the law, reunited to deal with the death of the woman both had loved deeply. Raphael tells the funeral director that they want, as the title says, a funeral fit for a Quartermaine. The woman they're talking to, however, doesn't understand the reference, at which point Will offers her a brief history of Leela, the Quartermaine patriarch, and her travails, including the time she bottled and sold Pickle Leela in order to regain the clan's lost fortune. Gio is practicing his violin by the boathouse when Brooklyn arrives. She tells him she was hoping he'd perform in the nurse's ball, which she's co-producing with Lucy. Gio feels a violin solo act isn't the best fit, as classical music can put people to sleep. Brooklyn promises that won't happen as she'll be his producer. Gio accepts her offer and is psyched to work with her. At the Q house, Chase walks in on Lois on the phone, convincing a friend to work lighting at the nurse's ball as Lucy's normal guy can't make it. Chase tells Lois that he's glad she's back, which surprises Lois as she thought he'd never want to see her again. Chase admits that, at first, he did think about how he would feel if he were in Dante's shoes and that he wanted to know about his child. However, this is Brooke Lynn's secret, and he will honor her choices and won't tell Dante. Lois knows the baby has been on everyone's minds lately, and Brooke Lynn has always put her child's needs above her own. Chase knows this couldn't be easy on her either, as Lois has a grandchild she never met. Lois says she chooses to believe her grandchild is healthy and loved. Later, Lois finds Gio practicing down on the docks. She's shocked he's playing something from this century. He tells her that he will be performing at the nurses' ball and Brooke Lynn will produce his act. Lois loves that they are teaming up. Gio says his mom always said collaborating with other artists is the key to becoming a great artist. He believes his mom is still looking out for him. Brooke Lynn finds Chase in the living room and asks what song he'll be performing this year at the ball. Chase isn't sure he's performing, but if he is, he says he'll need a very hands-on producer if he's going to do this. Brooke Lynn accepts the job, and they kiss. At the hospital, Rick is on the phone with Ava, who is waiting for Alexis at the art gallery. Dante bursts in and asks Rick if he's got a minute. Rick hangs up on Ava. In the hall, Molly thanks Christina for offering to visit her dad with her, but she doesn't have to come in with her. Christina wants to, as she wants to put the anger behind her. They head in and find Dante finishing up his questioning of Rick. Dante asks to speak with Christina, so he and Christina step out. In the hall, Dante asks how their dad is doing. Christina says he's well and is not talking about pushing his surgery back. Christina asks Dante why he is investigating Rick's crash. He explains he isn't, and he's only here checking on his uncle. He's family, and it's something his mom would want him to do. Dante also hopes this accident may help Rick forget some of his grudges. Christina wonders if moving on is possible after so much has happened. Dante believes so, and uses his own time in the WSB and the PTSD he dealt with as an example. He sees her working to move on from her mistakes, and he's proud of her. Christina says she can't let all the things that have gone wrong in her life hold her back. Back in Rick's room, Molly asks what Dante wanted. Rick says he just wanted to check on him and really thought he was there to investigate the accident. Molly says it was an accident, so there's not much to investigate. Rick says perhaps he and Dante can get to know one another better. Molly says it would be nice if something good could come from the accident. He wonders if she's speaking of her and Christina. Molly admits Christina has apologized and acknowledged all her mistakes. She says Christina was her rock while waiting for him to wake up. She knows her sister is flawed, but she thinks this time is different, as now they know what they stand to lose. Rick knows what it's like to be estranged from a sibling. Molly says that with Sam gone, they need one another more than ever. At the gallery, Trina arrives, and Ava notes she isn't working today. Trina needs to talk and fills her in on Kay's risky surgery, which he's determined to have. She says Kai wants her to support him, but she thinks it's the wrong decision. Ava says that she ultimately needs to let Kai make this decision. Lucky wheels Liz into her home, where Lulu, Laura, and Aiden are waiting to welcome her. Elizabeth thanks them all. Lulu says they set a bedroom up on the first floor, and Aiden has been cooking up a storm. Suddenly, Amy arrives and says she's here to report for duty. Amy says she'll be here 8 hours a day to help Liz out, and has timers set for her daily medications and meals. She says they also have to toss any food that can lead to inflammation, and she'll need to drink 3 gallons of water a day. Lulu takes Amy to see the first floor setup. Laura feels Liz is in capable hands, but Aiden and Lucky agree Amy is too much. In the kitchen, Lulu talks with Lucky, who has been put in charge of cleaning out the inflammatory foods. He has no idea what he's doing, and Lulu asks, with the fridge or Liz? Lucy says he and Liz have been spending a lot of time together. and this accident has really thrown them together. But he admits he was looking forward to them reconnecting in New York. In the living room, Laura tells Liz how happy she is that she and Lucky are in one another's lives again. Liz is happy to have Laura and Lulu here too, and it means the world she has family to rely on. Laura says she always will. Laura heads to the kitchen for a cup of tea, which Lulu takes out to Liz. Laura asks her son how he is and won't believe him when he says he's fine. She assumes this has to do with Liz. She tells him that he and Liz have always had a special connection, so whatever he has to say to her, just say it. That's all the meddling Laura plans to do. Lulu and Aiden sit with Liz, and Aiden complains about Amy being a control freak. Liz tells him it will only be for a few weeks, and they can get through anything together. Later, Aiden sets up a game for everyone to play, but Amy interrupts and says it's time for Liz's nap. Laura also notes she has to get to a press conference, so they'll play another time. Laura departs, and Aiden begs Lulu not to leave them alone with that woman. Lulu thinks everything will work out fine. Lucky heads to the car to get Elizabeth's book she left in it, so she can read it in bed as she's not tired. Lulu chases after him. She agrees that Amy is a bad fit for Liz and isn't going to work out. Lucky doesn't see another option, but Lulu says, "There is you." Emma finds Joss studying at the surf lodge and trying to catch up on schoolwork. Emma sits with her, and Joss admits she's probably looking at some all-nighters to catch up. Emma says she's been there when she transferred to PCU. Emma takes off for class, and Joss realizes she too has to get to class. Trina meets Kai at the lodge, and he tells her that her mom is against the surgery and thinks it is a long shot. But if there is a chance he can get back into the game, he needs to take it. He's having the surgery. Trina admits she doesn't like this, but Kai has a good feeling about it, and it would mean a lot if she was at his side. She says she'll be there, and he kisses her. He assures her in the end, all of this will be worth it. Later, Joss and Emma return from class, and Emma can't believe Joss got into Dalton's class late as she had to beg to be let off the waitlist. Joss says Dalton is phenomenal, and Emma is clearly his star student the way she spoke up in class. Joss says she impressed Dalton. Dalton appears and says, "You certainly did." Dalton is impressed because Emma clearly listens in class, and not everyone does that. Joss inserts herself and says today was her first class, as she was on a trip to Easter Island. Dalton warns her it will be a lot of work to catch up, but Joss insists she's determined. Dalton tells Emma about taking on an undergrad research assistant this summer, and he wants her to apply for it. Dalton heads out, and Emma comments, "Guess I'll know what I'll be doing this summer." Joss points out she still has to compete against other applicants. Emma says everyone wants this assistantship, but Dalton did single her out, so she will prove she's the best person for the job. Alexis arrives at the office to find Diane on the phone with a judge to have Christina committed. Diane asks Alexis for the signed papers, but Alexis can't do it. Diane tells her this is the only way to save her daughter. She says this gives them an insanity defense at the ready should Christina be charged. Alexis won't sign it, as there is no good in protecting Christina if she destroys her in the process. Diane asks why she has changed her mind. Alexis tells her that Christina and Molly are closer than ever and need one another, but if she sends Christina away, it will shatter her trust in her. Alexis says Christina will never forgive her for destroying her relationship with Molly for good. Diane says they have limited options to keep Christina out of jail. Alexis thinks they have to keep quiet and cover it all up. Alexis then gets a text from Ava telling her not to be late. Diane tells Alexis what she's suggesting scares her. Covering up Christina's crime could have serious consequences for both of them. Diane says she'll do everything she can to protect them should Christina get arrested. Alexis promises her that she knows what she's doing and thanks her for her help. Alexis arrives at the gallery to meet Ava, she informs. Ava, she's getting what she wants. She's had the funds transferred into a Swiss bank account, and they'll be transferred to her in installments. She says she'll have her divorce settlement back by July. Ava says the price has increased, as her divorce settlement isn't all she wants. Ava says that money was already hers, and Alexis needs to pay for Rick's pain and suffering and Christina's attempt on her life. She tells Alexis to keep the payments coming. Ava gets a text that the first payment came through. Ava also warns Alexis to keep a leash on her daughter, or the price of her silence will skyrocket. Alexis storms out as Ava then texts Rick $. Rick Hurst feels that because Elizabeth has made her fair share of bad choices, it's easier than ever for her to relate to Rick. Let's face it, it takes a special person to put up with Rick on General Hospital. The shady attorney has engaged in his share of schemes over the years, many of which blew up in his face. Lately, he's been romantically entangled with Ava. They seem to put up with each other very well. However, he also appears to have an eye for Elizabeth and wastes no time trying to get a moment here and there with her when Lucky's not around. Rick Hurst opened up recently about how and why Liz puts up with Rick. Here's chatted with Soap Opera Digest and explained how excited he was that Rick is now implicated in Ava's blackmail of his ex-wife Alexis. For the actor, it's not only job security, but also an excuse to be able to share screen time with Gran and Rebecca Herbst, Liz's alter ego. Particularly when it comes to Herbst, the actor remarked, "She's like my work wife, that's what she is." He finds a kind of easiness when working with her, noting that opposites, in this case, are attracting each other. He further remarked that working with Herbst is very organic because of their real-life friendship. Hurst added that Herbst's Liz is a major tentpole character who is always present, even if she isn't involved in a major story. He explained that this is possible because she has evolved over the years, has been through a lot, and learned a lot in her decades in Port Charles. Hearst stated that Liz is in a better headspace these days because her portrayer has also evolved as a person. But to explain the attraction between Liz and Rick, Hurst noted that she's not without her misdeeds. This makes her someone who can't throw stones at him for his own bad choices. She's also made mistakes, and she's not Lily White, he stated. And I think that gives Liz the ability to be around the character of Rick. Kirsten Storms is still shocked that she crochets clothing. Kirsten Storms never imagined her life to turn out this way. The General Hospital star shared a reflective post on social media. Storms impressed fans with her new talent. As fans know, Storms loves to crochet. She can't go a day without it. Storms fell into crocheting accidentally. In a new Instagram post, the actress showed off her talent. She wore a peach crochet sweater, which she wore off one shoulder. Storms paired the cute cropped sweater with a gray sports bra and black leggings. She finished her sporty outfit with black Chuck Taylors, an oversized leather handbag, and dark shades. She stood on the sunny streets of California, her blonde bob swept around her face. In her post, Storms reflected on her talent and how she never expected to fall into crocheting. "If you had told me on the day at Emerylin taught me how to crochet that I would one day make a sweater like this, I would have slowly backed away, fearing you were insane," she said. Storms admitted that she needed to have this sweater in every color of the rainbow. "Unfortunately, I'm gonna need to make this in all the colors," she noted. Then, she apologized to her fans for not remembering how she created it. "I blame Netflix," Storms added. GH fans wanted to own this sweater too. "Adorbs, I want one too," one user wrote. "Obsessed, I would so buy one," another fan commented. "Love this. Where can I find the pattern?" a third user asked. Finally, a cropped sweater that's made for every body type. We're obsessed as well. What are your thoughts on Storm's impressive crochet skills? Let us know in the comment section. Jason has questions while Tracy is intrigued by Sidwell and Lucky has a master plan. The next General Hospital spoilers video for Wednesday, April 16, 2025, shows Jordan beginning her scheme to take Sidwell down, while Sunny shares a plan with Diane and Sidwell has a proposition for Tracy. Lucky tells Elizabeth, "Everything that happens is all part of my master plan." The weekly teasers state that Lucky makes a commitment, so he might be telling Liz that he's in love with her. Jordan says to Anna, "But looking the other way just doesn't work for me anymore." Jordan's working on building up her fake public image, so she appears to oppose Laura when it comes to Sunny. That way, Laura can fire her, and she can pretend to work for Sidwell in an undercover effort. Sidwell tells Tracy, "You and I have so much in common." While you would imagine she would immediately refute his comparison, the teasers also state that Tracy is intrigued. What could Sidwell offer her that would be worth her time and energy? Elsewhere, Diane says, "I am gonna terminate him immediately," but Sunny replies, "I have a better idea." Sunny likely told her that Marco's parents are Natalia and Sidwell. Diane had interviewed Marco for a position at her law firm, but Sunny may want her to pass on fake info to him to see if it filters back to his villainous dad.